Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Iraqi Dinar News channel. Today, we have an explosive update that could change the financial landscape for millions around the world. Imagine waking up one morning to learn that two of the most talked about currencies, the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong, are finally seeing the attention and action they deserve. That moment may be closer than you think. Former President Donald Trump has just made a statement that has sent shockwaves through both political and financial communities worldwide. This is not just speculation or rumor. Major banks are reportedly confirming preparations for the long-anticipated revaluation of these currencies. If you are an investor, a holder, or just someone following the global financial markets, what we are about to discuss could have real implications for your portfolio, your savings, and your understanding of global economics. Trump's recent statement has reignited discussions surrounding the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong like never before. For decades, both currencies have carried an air of mystery, hope, and speculation. The dinar, once considered one of the stronger currencies in the Middle East, fell dramatically due to war, sanctions, and political instability. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese dong, while growing alongside Vietnam's booming economy, has long been considered undervalued by international analysts. Trump's words add a level of credibility that mainstream financial media rarely affords. He highlighted that banks are actively preparing for a revaluation, suggesting that this is not some distant dream but a near-term reality. The implications are enormous, and today, we will break down exactly what this statement means, why banks are involved, and what investors need to know to stay ahead. One of the most important points to understand is the role banks play in this process. Preparing for a currency revaluation is not a simple task. It involves recalibrating foreign exchange systems, training staff, adjusting risk management protocols, and ensuring compliance with international financial regulations. These are serious, precise operations, and banks do not invest time or resources unless there is credible evidence that such an event is imminent. Trump's statement effectively confirms that the machinery behind global finance is already moving. The preparation of U.S. and international banks signals that a coordinated effort is underway. This is not just about the currencies themselves. It's about positioning for a broader financial shift that will affect international trade, investment, and market confidence. For Iraq, the steps taken over the past few years have laid the groundwork for a possible revaluation. The country has been focused on stabilizing its economy, increasing transparency, and reducing corruption. The Central Bank of Iraq has strengthened reserves, modernized internal processes, and aligned policies with international standards. Each reform and piece of legislation is a clear signal that Iraq is preparing for integration into the global financial system on a deeper level. With Trump publicly acknowledging the potential RV, it gives added credibility to Iraq's efforts. The combination of political focus, internal reforms, and now international acknowledgement could create an environment where the dinar's value adjusts closer to its true market strength, benefiting both domestic and international holders. Similarly, Vietnam has emerged as a rising economic powerhouse in Asia. Its manufacturing sector, export growth, and global trade connections have created a strong economic foundation. Yet, despite this growth, the dong has remained undervalued, often due to deliberate policy decisions aimed at supporting exports. In the current global environment, where fair trade and currency adjustments are under increased scrutiny, Vietnam faces mounting pressure to allow its currency to reflect its economic strength. Trump's statement highlighting that banks are preparing for VND revaluation shows that recalibration is not only possible but already underway. This adds urgency and legitimacy to an event that many investors have long anticipated. The psychological impact of Trump's statement cannot be overstated. For years, discussions about the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong revaluation were limited to online forums, investor circles, and niche communities. Mainstream financial media often ignored the conversation, labeling it speculative. With Trump entering the discussion and banks reportedly taking action, the conversation has entered mainstream legitimacy. Confidence is critical in the financial world, and public acknowledgement by a figure of Trump's stature creates trust and momentum. Investors who previously hesitated may now view the RV as more tangible, while ordinary holders are beginning to understand that preparation and patience may finally be rewarded. Understanding the logistics behind the revaluation is also crucial. When banks prepare for an event of this magnitude, they are not simply updating numbers, they are implementing a highly coordinated plan. This includes adjusting foreign exchange systems, training staff to manage increased demand, and complying with complex regulations. Security measures must be heightened to prevent fraud and maintain stability. Different banks and jurisdictions may adopt varying procedures, meaning that holders of IQD and VND may experience different timelines, rates, and exchange processes. While Trump's statement offers a sense of certainty, it is important to remember that official central bank announcements will ultimately dictate the actual timing and execution. Global coordination is another critical aspect of this process. A revaluation on the scale of the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong cannot occur in isolation. Central banks, governments, regulators, and financial institutions must work together to ensure a smooth transition. Trump's acknowledgement signals that this coordination may already be in motion. It suggests that behind-the-scenes negotiations and planning have taken place, laying the foundation for a structured revaluation. This coordination is necessary to prevent market disruption and to ensure that both Iraq and Vietnam are properly integrated into the broader financial system. At the moment the currencies are adjusted, investors and holders must also consider the geopolitical implications of the revaluation. Iraq and Vietnam are strategically important nations in their regions, and currency adjustments could have broader economic consequences. For the United States and other global powers, a successful RV could strengthen financial influence, stabilize trade relationships, and reinforce strategic alliances. For Iraq and Vietnam, the RV represents an opportunity to attract foreign investment, strengthen domestic economies, and integrate more fully into international markets. Trump's role in publicly discussing these developments suggests that this is not only an economic move, but also a geopolitical strategy designed to benefit multiple stakeholders. The historic nature of this moment is striking. For holders of Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong, the potential revaluation represents the culmination of decades of patience and anticipation. For skeptics, it is a reminder that speculation can turn into reality when careful preparation meets international coordination. Banks preparing quietly behind the scenes, coupled with political acknowledgement from influential figures, reinforces the legitimacy of this event. The world is watching closely, and each statement, confirmation, and action builds momentum toward a potential shift that could have lasting implications for global currency markets. It is important to balance excitement with caution. While Trump's massive RV statement and bank preparations are significant, they are not official policy announcements. Investors should remain aware that final rates, timelines, and procedures will only be confirmed through official central bank releases. This is a time for measured anticipation rather than reckless speculation. Being informed, staying updated, and understanding the mechanics of the process are essential for anyone holding IQD or VND. Preparation and knowledge will be key to navigating this historic moment successfully. In conclusion, the RV conversation has reached an unprecedented level of attention. No longer confined to niche communities, it is now a globally recognized topic with serious financial institutions and political figures involved. Trump's statement, combined with bank confirmations, has created both urgency and legitimacy. Iraq and Vietnam's economic trajectories, coupled with careful international coordination, set the stage for a potential revaluation that could reshape financial markets, investor confidence, and even geopolitical dynamics. For holders of these currencies, the moment they have been waiting for may finally be arriving as anticipation grows. Every development, statement, and bank action becomes a clue to the unfolding financial landscape. The Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong revaluation is no longer just a rumor. It is a process being quietly prepared and carefully executed by those with the knowledge, resources, and influence to make it happen. Stay informed, stay cautious, and watch closely as history may be unfolding right before our eyes.